I'm transplanting now these small tomato transplants, and you can see the roots are starting to come out of the bottom, and they have to be moved into a larger pot. You start with seeds 6 to 8 weeks before your last frost date. Tomatoes are really sensitive to frost, so our last frost date here in Knoxville is about April 15th. February 15th would be the earliest most people would start their tomato seeds to set out on April 15th. And there's no soil at all in here. It's all non-soil. I mean, there's no nutrients in it. It's just a place for the roots to grab onto. So I'm putting this in the pot, but I'm pushing it down pretty firmly. See, in the bottom of the pot there are holes. Holes allow the soil to be in contact with this, what's called a capillary mat. It has the ability to draw moisture out of this lower reservoir and come up the side and feed the plants moisture from the roots, so I don't have to always be dumping water onto the plant. It's sort of automatic. I'll start at the beginning of my tray here, and I have, these are called Amish paste, and they're my paste tomato. And when you handle them, see, these are easy because I can push them out with my finger. But I'm grabbing the leaf area very, very gently. If you grab on the stem, you have the potential of squeezing it and cutting off a lot of the circulation to the plant. So once it's out of the pot, I like to hold it by the root ball itself. So I'm putting it into this pot, and see how low it's set in there. And then I'm adding more soil around it and pushing that soil down firmly all around the root ball, so it's sort of centered in that new pot. Roots on tomatoes can develop from the stems, and when I plant this out in the garden, I will bury it even more to get more stem contact with the soil to develop more roots. That just helps it take up even more nutrients. So I'm pushing the soil firmly so that there are no real big air pockets, and then the roots will have something nice to grab onto. And this thing, in probably a week, maybe 2 weeks, will be double in size. And so after I get this whole thing transplanted, I will then fertilize it with a liquid fertilizer. This is an organic compound. You see the OMRI designation on there. That's Organic Materials Research Institute, I believe, and this certifies that this is organic rather than having a lot of petroleum components in it. And it's high nitrogen. See the 511? That means it's high nitrogen. It's going to feed the leaves and produce green growth. The other two numbers are for disease resistance and fruit production. Well, we're not ready to have it start fruiting yet, so it has to be high in nitrogen just to get the plant a sizable plant to set out in the garden. So a little bit of this in water and get these new little transplants off to a good start.